How old do you think this man is, sir? Hello and welcome back to Actually Let's Talk About It with me, your host Lily, and today I will be reacting to Moonlight Chicken, the series from GMM and I have been anticipating this series since it was announced that it would be released this year. It's another series that stars Earthmix, so it already had me sold, and then on top of that, Off, who is like one of the greatest directors that I think I've ever seen in terms of the variety and the range of the type of work that he does. Not just one of the greatest directors, in my opinion, in Thailand, but just one of the greatest directors that I've witnessed just in general, worldwide. Of all the movies and TV shows that I've seen, he is just that genius. So it's them collaborating again, and I do believe this is either the second or the third time that they've collaborated as director and actor, so it's really awesome to see. This is the third time that Mix and Earth have collaborated, though, because they did Tale of a Thousand Stars, which P'Aof directed, and then they did Cupid's Last Wish, and then they are doing this one, which is Moonlight Chicken. So it's just really good to see them together again and acting together again. And then you also have, as well, in addition to Earth and Mix, you have First and Cow Tongue, who already, if you aren't familiar with these two as a duo, they did do the Eclipse, the series, which is also through GMM. And then you also have the newcomers, the fresh faces, which is Fourth and Gemini, or Gemini and Fourth. And they're currently doing My School President, the series, and it is such a cute and wonderful series. And this series is taking on a more serious tone, so you get to see the difference in the way that they act as the characters that they're playing in this show versus the characters that they're playing in My School President. It's just wonderful. Like, I love them. They are so adorable, and I believe that they're both 18 because they were both born in 2004. So it's just awesome to see these fresh faces and new actors in GMM. And then you also have Mark, who's also in My School President as well. And then you have View. And I do believe that I've seen View in other GMM series. And I think she did... Okay, so there was definitely a show that she did. She did do 10 Years Ticket, so I did recognize her from that. And then she also did... And I think she's doing, like, there's a show called Dangerous Romance. I'm not sure if it's been released yet, but she's doing that one this year as well. So it's cool to see her there. So that was just my little introduction into basically the actors and the actresses, or the actress that will be in this series. And I'm just really excited to see it. And also, if you're not familiar with Off as a director, you might have seen his shows through GMM already. You just might have already seen them. So he was the director of Together the Movie, and also he was the director for Bad Buddy and A Tale of a Thousand Stars, and he's going to be directing Our Sky 2. And he's such a genius. And if you didn't know as well, he wasn't just a director of A Tale of a Thousand Stars, he also wrote the script. And he's also a screenwriter on Moonlight Chicken. And of course, if you are familiar with Tae and Nu as like a BL couple in terms of acting, then you're familiar with Off's work as well, because he was a screenwriter for Dark Blue Kiss, which they were in. And I love that series. That is one of my favorite GMM series just in general, regardless of genre, because it was just so genius, and it was very much like a homage to like the older style of dramatic TV shows, and it just kept the pace. It never was boring for that show, which is genius. So Off is just, he's always been in his bag, but he's just really been bringing greatness to GMM, and they are so lucky to have him, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. Like, he is such a genius person in terms of the way he writes scripts and the way he directs actors and the comfortableness that he has with the actors that he works with. From what I've seen from behind the scenes, this man is literally just a genius, and I had to just share my opinion on him because I think, like, he gets his flowers, but I just want to just add my little 2 cents as well, because he's just very much a genius, and he brings the genius out in the actors that he works with, and that is why the shows and the movies that he does are received so well. And that's all I'm gonna say. But now we're gonna get into the reaction to Moonlight Chicken. And it's going to be great. I'm already knowing that it's going to be beautiful and wonderful and deep. From the trailer, like, we know how the relationship between Earthmix's characters in this series begins. And if you have not seen the trailer, I'm gonna link it below. And I'm also gonna link like the playlist that GMMTV has for like Earthmix and Gemini and Fourth for the My School President show, and also for First and Cowtongue for the Eclipse series, because that show was genius as well and it was well written. And I just thought it was wonderful. And P'Aof was also the producer of the Eclipse series, so everything this man touches or is involved with is just genius and deep and moving, and it's just redefining the genre as well in terms of TV series and how well thought out they can be when you seek to cling towards like originality, and that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, so now I'm gonna get into episode 1 of Moonlight Chicken, and I do believe the show airs every Wednesday and Thursday. I did not know that, so I was like, oh, I should, and I was like a little bit busy with work, so I was like, oh, I should review it. And then the second episode came out, so I'm like, oh, that's a lot. So I'm glad I'm able to react to them now, though. So let's get into it. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, Cowton, I love him so much. Is that P'Aof? Oh my goodness, look at that. I love this. Sir, you can't sleep here. Okay, and the look on Earth too. Goodness gracious. It's giving fine couple vibes. Why he looking at him like that? What is going on? What is going on? Look at him trying to protect him. I see you, Uncle Jim. September 11th, 2022. Okay. Okay, so I'm like just gonna make a guess and assume that because the beer cans are labeled with the dates from last year that have already passed, and we're seeing this show air in 2023, they might do a time jump, and there might also be flashbacks to earlier parts of 2022. That's what I'm going to assume might be going on in terms of story and context. That's all I'm gonna say. And also, can I just point out how phenomenal, and I've always seen this with whenever Earth and Mix are concerned, their chemistry is just so phenomenal and amazing and genuine because it comes from a real place, which is their friendship. And I just love to see it. I love to see it. I love to see like best friends who get to work together, and it's always a good time. I really love that. It's beautiful. He making things up. Oh yes, respect your elders. Always, whenever they say it's time to pray, it's time to pray. That's all I'm saying. Oh, she is so precious. Oh my goodness, I love it. So they're just having a wonderful nighttime moonlit adventure together. This is so romantic and beautiful. I think it's time to take the beer can away from homeboy. Where is his homeboy at? Where's his friend he called? Because it seems like it's been hours at this point. And can we also take a moment to appreciate the cinematography? P'Aof never disappoints when it comes to cinematography. This man is giving us imagery. Oh, the feelings and the emotions of the imagery, the set, like it's just giving. This man is genius. Because this scene is so gorgeous, just like the way they don't even have to talk. It's just the background music and the scenery. And you feel it. Genius. Oh, his clothes, his place is so homey. Got some beautiful designs going on here. Why he in Li Ming's bedroom? How old do you think this man is, sir? It's the fact that he immediately thought that Li Ming was his son. I'm like, this man is giving mid to late 20s at the most as Uncle Jim. It wouldn't be possible for him to have a teenage or 17-year-old, 16 to 17-year-old son. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Sir, ear biting? Okay then. was not expecting this from either of them. It's really something. Because I already knew Earthmix was phenomenal actors. We ain't even gonna get that twisted, but they have never done scenes like this in any shows that I've seen them acting in together or separately. So that's interesting. And okay, so they're setting the tone. So Uncle Jim and this man here. Because I don't quite know the name of this character yet. They haven't really, I'm assuming it might be Wen, because that's what he said, but I'm not sure that's his name officially. So we'll just say Mix's character for right now. However, it's interesting that they set up the ground rules that this would just be a one night stand. However, Mix's character was like, I don't know about all that, but we're gonna have fun tonight. Anywho, and then just seeing this here, because I did watch the interviews before I watched the show. So the interview that they had when it was premiering for episode 1, and how P'Aof was talking about this particular scene and how the story evolves from this one night stand that these two people have, and how the effect, the after effects of it. So just seeing how they did this scene, and then also when P'Aof was talking about this particular scene, how he just let them do what they wanted to do based off of the script for the scene. Like, it wasn't really blocked. It was just they choreographed it themselves. So I was like, okay, I see you, Earthmix. I see you. And I'm like, that's how I knew I wouldn't be able to do a show like this with my best friend, because I'm like, it would literally be a competition of trying to one up each other, and it probably would not be as professional as they just made this scene. I'm like, nah, we would have been trying to one up. We would have been having a whole crew just either laughing at what we was trying to do here, in terms of just even with a best friend that I have, I don't think I would ever be able to do a scene like this with them, just because I feel like we would either be laughing too much, or it would be too overly competitive. They'd be like, nah, that's not what we need. We don't need all that. Calm it down, ease it up, back it up. I'm like, okay. It's just hilarious though. I love how their chemistry is, and I like how the scene was done, and knowing that they choreographed it themselves pretty much without too much outside input. It makes it extra unique of a scene, because it wasn't too little and it wasn't too much. It was very much them, and within their comfort zone. And that's what I really like, is that Off gave them the permission and the ability to choreograph the scene and to interpret the scene the way that was comfortable for the both of them. And you can tell. You can just really, really tell. And that's what I love. Okay. I like how they're highlighting, especially for young people who might be watching the show, protection is always a must. Especially for one night stands. Especially. Protect yourself. And the other person as well. Protect yourself at all times. Protection. And if there's no protection, there ain't gonna be no action. Lay down that groundwork. Okay? Lay down that condition. Protection. Because there's no fun in jeopardizing your health for a good time. Protection. It's a one night, sir. Oh, he's so in love with Uncle Jim. Dang. Could already tell. What is this man doing here? That's what I want to know. Didn't you just get dropped off from your secret rendezvous of last night, and you back in this man's establishment today? It's giving thirsty on this man's part. That's all I'm gonna say. But it seemed like Uncle Jim liked it, so I'm here for it. What? Why is this man a little bit like me? Because I love to be making comments about people's ages, especially when they're older than me. I love to crack a good joke about them being older. But that was smooth as hell. He sounded like, I know older people like ginger. Okay. And the way that the smoothness in which Mix delivered the line as well. Okay, this man might just become my favorite character, cause shoot. Y'all, this man is making it so obvious. So very obvious. His like of Uncle Jim, his thirst for Uncle Jim, and his commitment to chasing after Uncle Jim, because this is giving very much. He ain't even beating around the bush. This man is bold, and I respect a bold person. He's like, I don't want us, what we did last night, to just be a one-time thing. I'm out here trying to pursue you, and I know you're a little bit older than me, but I'm grown, you grown, and we could be grown together. Okay, so you got a roommate. Okay, there's 2 chargers, and I feel like that's important. So there's okay, so there's 2 chargers in his room, and one is his charger, and the other person is his roommate's charger. But why would you have your roommate's charger in your room unless your roommate rooms with you and y'all share that room, thus sharing the same bed? Okay, so I feel what P'Aof is trying to tell us here. Okay, I'm picking up on the cues. Okay. Uncle Jim, focus. You're at work. Why doesn't he just knock on the front door and leave it there? Oh, he's deaf. I mean, it's your fault. You surprised him. Is he just leaving him to pick up the pieces, literally? Li Ming should know better. You can't just... First of all, when you're delivering an order, why would you need to come into the home to deliver it? You can knock on the door, send a text message, your order is at the door. I don't understand why Li Ming had to come into the house to deliver the food in the first place. And then on top of that, a maid homeboy, we don't know his name yet, dropped the glass. And then when he was trying to sign that it was his fault and that he did it, he just gonna put the food on the counter and leave. Li Ming, I don't understand what's going on. But I have a feeling like Li Ming's gonna get in trouble for that somehow, some way, because Uncle Jim already said that you don't want to get on the wrong side of that family, and he just caused a glass that looked like it was kind of important to be broken. It didn't even help to pick it up or to explain why it was broken. I feel like this is gonna come back to him. Okay, wait, hold up. So you mean to tell me that that young man who is deaf, whose name is Hart, so Hart doesn't go to school and they don't let him go anywhere because they're worried about the way people will look at him? Something don't seem right about that situation. If he graduates, like if his deafness is caused by a disease that caused him to lose his hearing over time, it doesn't make any sense why he's not going to school. I don't trust these parents now, because I'm like, why would you? Because there's the fact that he was the only person in the house at the time, and then now knowing that he doesn't go to school and they don't let him go anywhere. It's giving ableism. So I think that Hart's parents might be ableist. And that's a very bad thing to be as parents to a deaf son. It's a very bad thing to be in general. But it's giving very bad parenting if it turns out that his parents are ableist and they're practicing ableism. I'm not going to be upset if this is the case, because I'm feeling like it's going into that road. I know this has nothing to do with the show, but why is Mix's character on a treadmill reminding me? Okay, so I follow Earth and Mix on Instagram and also on Twitter. And why was there an Instagram story on Earth's Instagram? And it was him going into like a room. I'm not sure if it was his house or Mix's house. And Mix was on the treadmill and he didn't hear him coming into the room. And so when he finally noticed him and he started screaming and then knocked the camera out of Earth's hand, and all you hear is Earth laughing. And I'm just like, this scene is bringing me back to that moment. This is just, it's hilarious. I love those two together. But back to the storyline. Sir, you're at pub. Oh, they got an audience. Oh no. He wants an excuse to go see his man. And he's gonna try to use you as his friend to do it. I approve. Anywho. But who the hell is Alan? So is Wen lonely? He just wants companionship? Li Ming ain't in the wrong here. He didn't drop it. They-son dropped it. Hart dropped it for sure. I believe Li Ming. I thought that homeboy was just cleaning the bottle of liqueur. But he was drinking? An underage drinker? Hart. That's not looking good. Okay? And I love the way that Li Ming is treating Hart like he would treat anybody. Because, like he said, don't try to use your deafness to get out of trouble. And that you got yourself into, because I'm like, Hart, why did you have that bottle of liquor? Now I'm looking at you. I thought Li Ming startled you. And you dropped the liquor. I didn't know you was drinking all that liquor and then you didn't notice he was there and then you dropped it. And then the fact that his parents are saying that Hart told them that Li Ming was playing with the bottle of liquor and then Hart came in and he dropped it. It's an elaborate story, but it's a story. It ain't facts. I'm glad Li Ming is standing his ground because ain't no way I would have backed down on that. I'm like, no, your son did it and he needed to take accountability for it because I didn't drop nothing. I was just there to give y'all your little chicken and rice and get out. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, that's the type of situation that they're in. It's giving classism. And this man's an officer of some sort, whether it be an officer of the law or whatever he is, or a military officer. He still has prestige, power, influence, and money. They have integrity, ethics, a great moral compass, righteousness, and unfortunately, in the society that we live in, even though they have all of these good things, as Uncle Jim and Li Ming do have all of these good things, they got integrity, they got righteousness, they got a good moral compass, at the end of the day, people are looking about how much money they have. And since they don't have as much as this family, if this family was to press charges or say, oh, we'll just have the cops figure this out, it can cause Li Ming and Uncle Jim to have to pay them more money in restitution than Li Ming just saying, okay, it was me, and just admitting that he did it, even though we know he didn't do it. But it's kind of where things are. So, okay, so Li Ming can't work for his uncle because now he works for them. And then he needs a new waitstaff, and guess who's gonna see that sign when? We don't mind that. That's all I'm saying. It's still giving fine, handsome, attractive husband material. I mean, I get what he means. There's certain people that their presence is just calming. It's therapeutic for you. It doesn't feel like work. And depending on what type of person you are, there's certain types of people, even when you're friends with them, where it can just feel like you have a connection with them, but it can feel like after a while it can be taxing on you, mentally and emotionally, possibly. So it's interesting that when Wen is around Uncle Jim, there's like a piece that you can see that he has versus his interactions with other characters that we've seen him interact with so far, there's a guard that he doesn't have up when he's around Uncle Jim's character. And I don't even know how Mix is able to depict it so accurately as an actor, but he's really doing that. There is a guard that he has up when he interacts with other characters. But when Wen is around Uncle Jim, he doesn't have that guard up. And I really love how they're able to portray that on the screen. It's beautiful. Now they know each other's names. Oh, so it's giving. It's giving cute. Like, in all honesty, this episode is truly setting the tone. I already knew because P'Aof is directing it that it would be something cinematic, dramatic, and well thought out and well, how do I say it? And well thought out and well initiated. So this is what Moonlight Chicken is giving us in episode 1. And it's giving us the backstory. So Uncle Jim, he is working hard. He is doing his chicken rice shop. He is taking care of his nephew. He's also taking care of the people that work for him. And, he liked to, him and Wen had a moment for a night. And then we have the character of Wen himself, who there's a man named Alan that is asking about him to his friend that is named Gong. And we don't know who Alan is yet. We have not seen Alan yet. But I have a feeling that Alan might be his roommate. And also Alan might be either romantically involved with Wen or was previously romantically involved with Wen at some point in time. And so we'll see what's going to happen with that. And then now that Wen is officially a staff member of Moonlight Chicken Restaurant, Uncle Jim is making it very clear there will be no romantic entanglements like what we did on that one night stand tip while you're my employee, because that's not how I get down. He's like, I'm a professional. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And I love that. And I also love that Wen is doing everything in his power to keep Uncle Jim by his side. It's giving whipped. It's giving whipped behavior, and I really like that. And also Earthmix. Okay, can we talk about how phenomenal they were this episode? And also Gemini and Forth, and Mark. I'm like, come on now. The talent, the cast is very much giving us story, and I love that. And I'm excited for episode 2. So if y'all have stayed until the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel to see more reactions from Moonlight Chicken, because I will be sticking with the show until the very end, because I'm excited to see what P'Aof has in store for us in terms of storyline and direction and cinematography, because he is giving all of that this episode, and I can't wait to see more of it. And then also don't forget to leave a comment about what your favorite part of episode 1 was, and if you also want to see the full version of episode 1, I will link it down below on my Patreon, because it will be a free full-length reaction. The other episodes will be under a paywall on Patreon, but for this particular episode, for every first episode of a series I react to, I always make sure that it's free and public on Patreon. So if you want to check that out, I will link it down below as well. And as always, again, thank you for rocking with me until the very end. And I will see y'all in the next reaction for Moonlight Chicken episode 2. Bye.